the film editor. He's a filmmaker and he really works in service of the film director. He has a program which organizes sounds on different levels. Let's say, just like electronic music programs, the computer programs for electronic music, they have layers. They have layers where you can add different sounds. And then when you play the track, you will hear the song with all these variations of sounds and melodies and just harmonized. Now, this film editor, he is very savvy and he creates his own sounds, meaning that he records things from his surrounding. He could be in a crowded place and he suddenly listens to a sound from a material um, hitting another material or a burst of sound from the street or a person clinking her glass with another person. He would record sounds and all these different types of sounds. He would create a library. He would create a library of sounds, which is interesting and very beautiful, by the way. So he has categories of sounds in his library. He can have nature sounds. He can have urban sounds. He can have home sounds. He can even have a cappella singers with a melody or with a humming melody or just a song. And he would also um, manipulate and change the sounds from his library with his tools from the computer program, and he might change them into a higher pitch, a lower pitch. He will make the sound become like blurrier, like or clearer, or he would magnify the speed of the sound, or he would just change it in accordance to the necessity of his melody. Now, many of the students in class were asking him on how he knew how to choose the right um, modifications for each sound and the color and the accommodation or the position of each sound within the melody. And his answer was a little bit confusing at the beginning, but since he received the same question three times from different students, paraphrased in different ways, the last time he answered the same question, he got the answer very clear. And this is what he said. He said, it depends on the emotion you want to convey in that particular beat of the film. So this is very interesting because we do have the creativity, freedom, liberty that we possess as artists, and we can adjust the sound according to the emotion that we want to evoke within our audience. And he also might create different options, different versions of sound design to the director so he can have something prepared for him, and then the director will just decide which one he likes best, or he would even add adjustments to it. And the sound editor also is very collaborative within his department. He has people around him who specialize on different topics of sounds or different types of tools that they know how to use very well, or even just the fact that they can watch the film without the sound and add an idea of what the sound is needed on a certain scene. So that is really it is really beautiful because you can collaborate with your friends or people who you know from the industry, and then you can build like a more connectionist approach in film. Now he demonstrated two films. The first film was very much like a desert and the the belief of letting go of a relative who passed away. That was really it was really sweet. But I like the second one because of course I like water. So the second film was about just a lady inside a bathtub and just so many close-ups of her in different angles of the water, her hands touching the water, her hands touching her face. That was to me more evoking of emotions and more beautiful. Mm. Now, many of the students in class were actors like myself, and there were also directors or editors. They were in the film industry somehow. And I really believe that sound is very important because our senses, like just being human and having all these senses, it's very important that we we create a better human experience when we're aware of our senses. And sound design is frankly one of the best. I think it's to me like the first sense that I would develop without even trying. Even when you're a baby, the sound of your mother's voice, the sound of your surroundings, the sound of your father's voice, the sound of your toys making movement, just emotion. And your life is so in constant change, and emotion is very intertwined with sound, and then music, like the melody that you hear for the first time. That's how we learn as babies through songs, and it just becomes so rich in musicality, in harmony. It just becomes so pure at the same time. So it does embrace the human experience for sure. And there are sounds that will always be part of ourselves. Like for instance, my mother used to have a music box, and this little jewelry box had Furelise by Beethoven. So that's to me, that's like the introduction, the first ever classical music, classical piece that I would always have in my memory. So music is like so powerful. But what I really appreciated about this class, this editing, film editing class, uh, is that the artist, he gathered his own sounds. Like he had a personal library of sound, which is truly remarkable. And then it was also mentioned the fact that we're using AI, and yes, AI is a wonderful tool that we can enhance, and it should really just be a tool. Despite other ideas of usage, I think AI is just another tool, another pencil with for artists, let's say. So it's really, I just really beautiful. So there you go. That's my thoughts on film editing at the moment through sound editing in particular, sound editing.